Okay, it's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we got a beer from BrewDog and it's a bottle of their Dead Metaphor Scottish Chocolate Breakfast Stout coming in at 6.4% ABV. Why am I sounding so excited? Well, because number one, it's brewed by BrewDog. I like their beers. And number two, it's been brewed with my good friend Rob Derbyshire of Hopscene.com and of course Hopscene Beer Reviews here on YouTube. Also been brewed with Richard Taylor of the Beercast. The two of them were asked to go up to BrewDog up in Scotland and brew a collaboration beer. How exciting is that? And I'm really excited for these guys because it happened to me a couple of years ago now, and they were just as enthusiastic for my beer as I am today for this. I am really genuinely excited to be getting this Dead Metaphor out into a glass and see what we get. Okay, a little bit of smoke on the opening. Beer in the glass then. First of all, nice glug on the pour. Wow. The beer looked like it wasn't going to give me much of a head, so I kind of give it a little bit of an aggressive finish to the pour, and it's produced this lovely three-fingered tan coloured head. It's like a caramel chocolate coloured head. Look at that. Beer in the glass, it's jet black. There's no light coming in there whatsoever, and it just looks like a good quality stout. There you go. I'm going to get my nose into the beer then. Ooh. It's oaty. It's oaty. It's chocolate. It smells like you got that bitterness kind of lingering around in the aroma. You kind of it's a kind of a weird bitter smell. You know it's going to be a bitter beer. It's a little bit smoky as well. I'm picking up an element of smokiness to the beer. It's also a little vinous, but it's definitely an element of smokiness in the beer. I'm going to dive in. Cheers, Mr. Rob Derbyshire and Richard Taylor and BrewDog. Wow. Okay, woo. Wow, that is bitter. I'm going to start talking about flavours then. But I went to speak and, oh, the bitterness really kind of ramped up on the back end. It kind of catches you on the back of the jaw. It kind of elongates your jaw. Wow, that is nice and bitter. There's a lovely coffee bitterness. It's like, and this is a little bit exaggerating things, but the best way to describe the coffee bitterness is if you kind of crunched a coffee bean and kind of put it in your mouth, and it's kind of, wow, it's kind of bitter. Not to that extremity. Not to that extremity, but an element of it. It's a kind of very mild kind of coffee bean bitterness. It's very good. It's vinous, definitely a red wine, kind of vinous, red grape element to this. But the hops as well, mixed with that coffee bitterness. And there's a warming sensation that's just hitting my stomach now. Which, we're having force 20 gales out there. It's like 90 miles an hour winds. It's cold, it's February. I want a beer that, number one, is full of flavour. Number 2 is drinkable, and it's got a nice mouthfeel, which we will touch on in a moment. And number 3, it gives you that nice warming, winter, you can stay outside. Nice cozy feeling. It's a nice warming beer. Next I want to touch on that carbonation and the mouthfeel. And I watched Rob review this beer himself about an hour ago, and he mentioned the mouthfeel in his review, and he said it's a milk stout. It's not meant to be kind of really big and medium mouthfeel, but I think this is. I think this has got a nice, refreshing. It's still refreshing. It's a very drinkable stout, but it still gives you that nice creamy, as a milk stout should, creamy kind of lactosey layer. It's a little bit sticky on the lips. It leaves a kind of a layer inside the mouth, and that really does help to release all of the flavours in the beer, because it hangs around. The nice chocolate bitterness, coffee bitterness, caramel. There's a nice element of sweetness to the beer. That lactosey sweetness coming from the milk or the lactose, whatever they used, I don't know. But I think this is a great milk stout, I really do. This is right there, left hand milk stout. It's right there. It's a good example of a milk stout. One of my favourites actually. And I promise you, I'm not just standing here saying it because it's BrewDog and because it's Hopsy and it's Rob Derbyshire and he's my mate. I think I would insult him if I was to stand here and tell lies about his beer. I think he would want me to be perfectly honest with him. And yes, I'm going to be honest, this is a really bloody good milk stout. You should all go out and try it. Dead Metaphor by BrewDog. Go and give it a go. I'm going to give it a rating. Final thoughts. And that is that the beer's flown down. Look, that was a 330 and it's flown down. It's not left me feeling really kind of gassed out and full after this beer. It's not left me with that feeling. It makes me want to drink more. And that's what a good beer should be all about. I've touched on the flavours. I'm not going to go back into the flavours, but I'm going to genuinely give this a 9 out of 10. It's a 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Lovely stuff. Go out and try it. Dead Metaphor by BrewDog. Put your comments in the comments box. Please subscribe to our daily beer reviews, and cheers.